To get to the bottom of something like January 6th and the pipe bomber case, for example, you need three things. You need people, you need information, and you need people with information. I'll allow the public to put that together and just wait, and you'll see. Nothing we're doing, nothing is by accident.
Dan and I have already told the FBI, every employee that acted appropriately, we are going to defend you to the hill, literally, no matter the consequences.
And that was FBI Director Kash Patel and Deputy Director Dan Bongino with me in my exclusive on the FBI back in May earlier this year. As more heads rolled at the FBI this past week, former FBI Acting Director Brian Driscoll and Special Agent Walter Giardina were forced out, among others forced out. Driscoll oversaw the January 6th investigation, while Giardina worked on cases against President Trump and Peter Navarro, the trade executive in the White House, who was ultimately convicted and sent to prison. Joining me now with more on all of this is New York Post columnist and Fox News contributor Miranda Devine. Miranda, great to see you. Literally, it's been a decade of scandals led by the Democrats. But first, I want to get your take on these FBI changes. First, they promoted Driscoll, and then they asked him to leave.
Yes, and also Stephen Jensen and Walter Giardina. And these people were all involved in the politicization of the FBI under Joe Biden and Christopher Wray, attacking and persecuting Trump allies and people who had worked for Trump, including the Peter Navarro and Steve Bannon being jailed for contempt of Nancy Pelosi, effectively. And the January 6 defendants, Stephen Jensen was in charge of the most overzealous persecution, investigation of these Trump allies. And so I think it was long overdue, really. I was surprised that they lasted as long as they did. But I think it's great that finally Kash Patel has cleaned house. And I assume, your interview with Patel and Dan Bongino is the only record of this, but that there was method in the madness, that there was a reason to keep them close for the first 6 months and now to remove them summarily.
Miranda, what's your take on what we're seeing? Are we finally seeing some signals of some accountability? We've been waiting for accountability from the Russia collusion nonsense to the impeachments of Trump, the laptop from hell. How do you see things now?
That's a really good question, Maria, and I think we're seeing really positive signs. There just seems to be a systematic, very orderly procession of investigations and subpoenas and grand juries. We saw on Friday that Letitia James, the Attorney General of New York, who prosecuted Trump every which way she could find, as well as the notorious Adam Schiff, who, of course, was, now is a senator, but then was a congressman who led a lot of the Russia hoax nonsense back in Trump's first term, and is really somebody like Letitia James who continues to mouth the refrain, "No one is above the law." Well, they found out that they're not above the law because Pam Bondi, the Attorney General, appointed on Thursday night Ed Martin as the special attorney to investigate these two. He can bring up grand juries wherever he likes, and he's done so. Grand juries are looking at Adam Schiff and Letitia James in Maryland and in Virginia on allegations of mortgage fraud, also bank fraud and wire fraud. And these charges, if convicted on them, they would serve up to 30 years in jail. So it's a serious accountability.
Yeah, I want to ask you more about that. Adam Schiff and Letitia James, Ed Martin in charge. Let's take a break and come right back with more from New York Post columnist Miranda Devine. Stay with us. Welcome back. I'm back with New York Post columnist Miranda Devine. Miranda, we're talking about finally seeing some accountability here. Do you actually think people will get prosecuted and go to jail? And also, what's your take on January 6th and that investigation?
Look, I don't know. I mean, I guess we're looking here for, when we're talking about Tish James and Adam Schiff, you're talking about grand juries in Maryland and in Virginia, which may be less sort of 100% Democrat than Washington, D.C. juries, which is very difficult to get a Democrat convicted in. But January 6th as well, you're looking at the Russia hoax as well. You're looking at a lot of the same characters are involved in these persecution of Trump and his allies, the sabotage of Donald Trump's first term. And so we're seeing continual exposure of classified documents by Tulsi Gabbard, the Director of National Intelligence, as well as John Ratcliffe, the CIA Director, that are being referred to the Department of Justice. And people like John Brennan, the former CIA Director, James Clapper, Tulsi Gabbard's predecessor under Obama, as well as James Comey, the former FBI Director.
That's right.
They're all in the crosshairs.
Absolutely. They are certainly in the crosshairs. We're going to be watching those stories closely. Miranda, always a pleasure. Congrats on the podcast and great to see you. Miranda Devine.
Thanks so much, Maria.
Hey everyone, I'm Emily Campagno. Catch me and my co-hosts Harris Faulkner and Kaylee McEnany on Outnumbered every weekday at 12 p.m. Eastern, or set your DVR. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page for daily highlights.